All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the World Arena Podcast, aka the WAPcast. Today, Firas and I are joined by one of the most feared 2v2 teams in the world,
That's right.
Thompsin and Whycuz. Thanks for joining,
I know
fellas.
firsthand.
What's going on, guys?
Yeah, thank you guys. So, Thompsin, you just got done with your God knows what appearance at SWC.
Got done is correct. Literally got done.
Well, no,
Got
you're not. You're
done.
still. You're playing. Is it this weekend that you play again, or
Saturday.
Yo,
Yeah.
man,
Saturday?
every year it just gets harder. Like if they say the preliminaries, you got to play against Big V and True Whale. You know,
Dude, especially Big V,
I
man.
don't doubt my skills. It's just they're just hard opponents to beat. You guys all played them in ladder. You guys
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Dude, especially Big V. That guy has fucking everything, and he drafts really well. Yeah, he's different.
No excuses. He's just better than me, you know, and he's better than me. And there's a few players that are good. We all know their skills, you know.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys both drafted pretty well. Like, it was certainly not a beatdown by any means. It was just, I mean, that's just how Summoners War goes. A couple more procs.
Just like this is the game, man.
Yeah, of course.
Sometimes win lucky, you sometimes lose lucky. It's no big deal. There's like always like next year and stuff like that. So
Yeah, or next Saturday.
Yeah, don't say next year, dude. You still have next Saturday. What are you tripping on?
man, like you know how hard is it to climb out a losers bracket, you know? So
I was there. I know.
Who do you play this Saturday?
I mean, realistically, it's literally the same thing. I mean, the main goal is like you have like whether it's the first week of preliminaries or the third day of preliminaries, like you have to win twice to get in.
Yeah.
You know?
I played the hardest, the highest ranking player in RTA.
This Saturday?
Uh-huh.
Who are you up against? I don't even know. I didn't even know the brackets.
Just a bunch of like guild. The hard. Who do you think you have
Yeah.
low percentage to play?
I'll tell you real quick who he's playing. Okay, use your imagination. And Creative Come to Us is always gonna put on a show for themselves, right?
I'm trying to think of who else lost.
Every week, every year,
You ever
right? We always have like guild on guild crimes. We have friend on friend crimes in these RTAs.
Yeah, that is very
It's
true.
always somebody fighting, you know.
He's just fighting Scribble on the side.
True Whale. It's True Whale, right?
Oh, you're fighting True.
Well, True Whale's in the second round. So
I got cute to Scribble again.
Who is it? Wait a second. I'm trying to remember who. Can't remember right now.
So he plays in the first round. Whoever one of the guys that lost in the first round of day one.
Topa?
No, Topa was day two. Oh, Topa was day one. Sorry, Topa was day one. Right.
Oh, okay. I don't even remember, honestly. I can't remember who lost, but either way, if you have Truel round 2, you've already fought Big V. I mean, that's a rough road. I mean, it's SWC, you got to beat everybody.
It's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
So at this point, man, this game, I just like let it be. You know?
Yeah, you just let the cards fall
last
where they
year,
may.
the brackets were Thompson and Truel were in the same bracket again last year.
Yeah.
And it forced them to, you know, eventually match up if they would have won their respective games. You know what I mean? So like, at the end of the day, like they always, you know, it's supposedly it's a random draw, but this random is being very common lately. You know what I'm saying?
Especially when you're fighting guys like Big V and True Whale too, whose boxes are just enormous. It's like, can I get like 3 pre-bans? Like it doesn't even feel like the one pre-ban even does anything.
I mean,
it's
to
like,
be fair, I mean Thompson's part of that conversation too.
I know.
Yeah.
I'd be thinking the same thing.
I try to explain to him, like, you know, you're concerned about fighting these guys, but
they're
nobody
concerned
wants to
about
fight
fighting you
either,
too.
bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
no.
If you were an SWC, Zig, and you had to pick like the 3 people you probably
well, Thompson would be last.
Thompson, True Whale, and Big V, right? Those are the 3 guys you don't want to fight.
Thompson would be last on my list.
Thompson would be the last too.
I'll fight the other 2. I'll fight both of the other 2 than just Thompson.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't like my chances against any of the 3, but you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, because I'm so familiar with Thompson's box, like and his runes, like I don't want to fight him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you know, that's what I said. So it's like they're all monsters when it comes to the top. You know?
Yeah.
Well, consider my spot last year. I'm like, of all the 16 people that could be there, I'm like, I don't want to fight Thompson. I get him round 1.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
You know, it's just it's just like that. You know what I mean? And then it's like, the problem is it's always like look at day 1. No offense to any of the players in day 1, but like I like my chances against a lot of the guys from day one. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
I look at day two, I don't like my chances basically anywhere. You know what I mean? Like day two is ugly everywhere for me, you know?
Yeah. Day two was mega stacked, man. I don't know.
It's ugly everywhere, but like so randomly all the power just fell into round two. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I almost prefer to watch the matches that are kind of like stomps though. Like the fair ones between like or fair ones just turn into whoever procced more, and then like it's like like that wasn't fun to watch. Like I want to know who really should have won.
Right? One of the stronger accounts of the first day was Falling Flower.
Yeah,
the guy picks her Tate, and then picks Iselin.
Yeah,
like
I know
he's trolling. You know what I'm saying? He's literally trolling. Like he took up an SWC spot to be a troll.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because you can't tell me that was serious drafting. You know what I'm
Maybe
saying?
he had an idea.
He had an idea. He needs to lose that idea fast.
Yeah. Well, something I can speak for is like your first time in SWC. I don't think Power Flower. Wait, Power Flower? You said
Falling
Flower.
Falling Flower. Yes, sorry. Power Flower is someone else. He's actually
Power Flower
SWC
is Super Mario, that little thing you get.
No, Power Flower is actually an SWC a Summoners War player, but he goes by a different name in game. That's why I got confused for a second. Yeah, he's on Discord. He's Power Flower.
No, but Power Flower literally, he literally picked, like
you know the whole time where like. I'm setting up my camera. And
you're just on Tara Singh Scribble. God damn it.
3 times.
That's what's tilting about fighting you, Thompson. You'll still pick you have the best box, among the best boxes in Summoners War, and then you still pick like fucking Triple Revenge Verd and then Tars.
Drives me nuts.
Have some shame, dude. Have some shame. Come on.
I played the game for 6-7 years, bro. I have a attachment. I'm attached to my Triple Revenge Verd. I've been using it for 6 years, you know?
Oh, God.
I probably need to start using it.
You make me sick.
I refuse to, bro.
I don't do it either.
Well, like, what I was wanting to say earlier is like when you look at like the comparison between day one and day two, the reason day two is scary is not just because of the names, but you know, those names have experience in SWC, in tournaments in general.
Yeah.
So like that's why they're more frightening, I think, than just their names and what they own. It's experience in SWC is really valuable. I had no experience. I shat my pants. I drafted like an idiot for my first time in SWC. Then you get when you see like True Whale, Thompson, Raigeki, who else?
Dreams Joseph, Dream D, Big V, all of them, dude. Everybody
all of them are
aside from Q Dizzle had experience.
Q Dizzle, didn't he play last year too?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. Like, if I'm thinking, like, I'm pretty sure day two, the only person without previous experience was Q Dizzle.
Yeah, I think that's right.
And he almost got Truewell the first round.
But he had some shit together.
He almost had Truewell beat the first round, dude. I thought the second match he lost. I thought Truewell lost the second match too, like the second round too.
Wasn't his just didn't deal enough damage?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I can't remember. There's a lot of matches.
Yeah, Swift Savannah was him. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he was running the Swift Savannah and Amasha against Truewell.
Oh yeah. I remember that.
And he caught Truewell the first
game,
and then the second game he almost beat Truewell again, but then Truewell Truewell's Chung Pung ended up finishing everything off when it was low health.
Yep.
Otherwise,
I remember
he would have lost that round too. So.
Yeah, it's tough. Especially in a game like Summoners War too. It's like even when you think you're up against somebody who you've got a good matchup against, like everyone there's pretty close in rune quality. So all it takes is for RNG to shift a little bit into their favor, and you're just screwed.
Yeah. And that's the thing too. You always see a gap. Even like experience obviously is a huge part of it for us, no doubt. But the big part you gotta look at too is like the monster boxes, right? You have guys that you literally mentioned before, like you probably need 3 pre-bans against them.
Exactly.
Even close to fair, because they have multiple oppressive LD units.
Yeah.
A lot of guys have like one, right? Everybody plays me, they're gonna ban Yunhong right away. Right.
Same with Topa too. I feel so bad for Topa being stuck with just Yunhong. Yeah.
Guys that have like 1 or 2 LDs, they'll cycle the pre-ban, right?
Yeah.
They'll go like, let's say Gianna and Volantis be the pre-bans. When the guys have like 6 or 7, it's like, okay, pick one. Like whatever one you pick, I'm going something else.
Because I think Thompson, the second game versus Big V, or maybe the third game, you banned Cadiz, right? Which I think was like a pretty good ban, but it's like when you're up against a guy who's got such an expansive box and you gotta ban Cadiz, because it's like, God damn it! No, I know he is.
I did a lot of Trev against Big V, and the second game, like, it's just I was drafting fast too, but like, if the second game he doesn't have Cadiz, but he has Volantis, I kind of have to pick Juno, but I picked Juno too early, and Patrick's like, yo, you just like
so
did too
basically
much prep,
where Thompson went wrong, okay, with the draft is that he preemptively picked in response to what wasn't there yet. So
and Big V's got so many other directions he can go.
And Volantis are like two of the scariest units, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like if you happen to let it through, like you're gonna have a problem. Like if he picks Volantis and Juno, like Juno is literally the only real like truest answer, right? To Volantis. So if he gets both of them, like you're literally staring, Volantis in the face with nothing you could do. And granted Volantis's activation rate isn't that high. When it needs to happen, it always happens in Summoner's War. You know what I'm saying? When you need to proc to get a heal, when you need a stun to just get your Praha cooldown up to get yourself a heal, like Volantis will stun at that moment, And Volantis turns into an AoE stunner sometimes, which is unbelievable. With skill 1, I'm talking, And it's insane.
All bears are built different. Like, he has Pater, but then the skill 1 for Volantis just stuns so much more.
It's so much different. It's crazy.
If he has a Despair Volantis, and there's something about the coding. I'm pretty sure there's something about the coding. When a unit has an innate stun chance through the skill, and then you add Despair on top, it goes fucking nuts. Those numbers go insane.
Build Despair Pater, then you have a Pater.
I made a Despair Wind Monkey, and it doesn't stun any much more than a regular Monkey.
My Miles was the same, because I was testing Despair Miles. If anybody remembers. Yeah, I was like, this has to stun more, because I need a more consistent, like, turn 1 something that isn't stupid. And he never stunned on Despair.
Never stunned.
But, like, Volantis' S1 on Despair is fucking wild.
Volantis is just built different. I've fought in Swift ones that have just completely clapped me.
The biggest thing, to be fair to Volantis, too, is because it's a light unit, it has the no glance. You know what I'm saying? So it just... everything it does is just... magnified, you know what I'm saying? Because of the less chance of it being glanced away or whatever, So he's just really oppressive.
Plus he technically has 2 rune sets built into his kit with Revenge and Despair. So you really could build him, like some people use Swift. I've seen Violent before, like he has 2 rune sets already built in. You don't even technically need those rune sets if you don't want to.
So that's basically what happened. Like, you're drafting preemptively, you're drafting into a sense of like, in case he picks that, but then you're allowing a guy with the extremely large monster box to be able to
just go with something
go the
else
other
instead.
direction on you. You know what I'm saying? Go the other direction.
Tough,
then you're stuck with an awkward draft,
And he is experienced enough to like capitalize on it real quick. Like he's not gonna like panic pick, not panic pick necessarily. But he's not going to like, okay, he banned my Cadiz, so I'm still going to run my Volantis comp, which has XXXX.
Well, I mean, for us, it's very simple, right? If you own a Volantis, you probably see Juno every day.
Yeah, and you're
like, you know how to bend away from a Juno. Like you would know how to bend out of a Juno. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's basically what it comes down to.
That's true. That's a good point, and he's experienced with that for sure, so he knows how to.
Yeah, because anybody has Volantis, like Juno's their worst nightmare. So they have to know how to deal with Juno.
Yep.
What else in SWC? Topa Classic got kicked out pretty quick, but
I think he's still going to do well though. I think he drafted super well, and I think he banned like perfectly in his game 3 where he pre-banned more when he wasn't going to have first pick, and he just got pretty unlucky in that last game and ended up losing anyway.
He had a little bit of RNG struggles, to be honest. Like Topa's a smart kid, smart player. He had a little bit of RNG issues, But again, that's the problem with with these somewhat short races, and I'm glad they made the second round 5 now, whatever. But like anything could happen in a race to 3. You know what I mean?
Oh, God,
but not a race to 3. It's a best out of 3, right? So the first round, like you make one accidental bad choice in a pick ban, you lose one, and then all of a sudden you add in the RNG factor where literally
you could play perfect and still lose.
That's what evens out the playing ground, right? You draft perfect, you outdraft the guy, you outban the guy, you're playing perfect. That guy just procs when he needs to proc, and the whole game is reset. You know what I mean? Or you miss time like an Abellio, and Abellio AoE heals the team. Now the game is reset, except your team just got Zyrost. You know what I mean? Like you have no more cooldowns, and everybody's full health. So it's like all these little RNG things really, really could really change the tides of the game. So That's why it's so tough doing RTA in short races.
So like, there's a lot of people, not like respect more, but there's just a lot of people I respect. I have a really hot topic for you guys right now. It's like, I feel like both, Zig and Patrick, Whycuz Amaji, they're like, you guys are really good players, and it's like, really awesome. Like on good days or bad days, the best players could lose to you guys too. Obviously, Firas, we don't have to say anything about it. Topa V is also like awesome player as well. My account, like I didn't even know about like whatever, but there's so much like people saying like, I used to have people play my account or whatever, blah blah blah, bodying stuff like that. So I don't have to be in this thing, but there are a lot of people that like didn't buy their accounts and just like started playing their account from zero to where it is now. And I think like I think soon Comp2us will come up with a season tournament where it's like winter, fall, whatever. It's so I heard. I didn't sign no TOS, so I could say it,
Yeah.
But I hope like it'll be cool if in these tournaments it's not like categorized as like G1, G2, G3, but it's just cool if like some of the players that maybe don't have didn't maybe they started playing their account from zero, and like I know Firas spent his money from like zero to the places that it is now, and I know Patrick and Zigbear, you too, you guys, if you guys bought your account, you guys will have like Ragdoll, Gianna, Arteville,
What do you mean?
Naturally.
Dude, I paid 10 grand for this Grogan. Are you kidding me?
And it's just funny because you just brought up Topa V, and Topa V is one of those like, man, he loves the game.
Yep.
He's a kid, and he spends like $100, $50 Twitch money. He brewed it from when it's like little to here, where some people just like skip all the process and just like, there are accounts very obvious that it's been, got there for a reason.
Of course.
I actually, as amazing as how many LDs I have, I actually did not buy my account. I started from zero, but
no, we
know.
know.
Whenever accuses you of account buying anyway, but let's clear up the air.
Yeah, and I mean SWC they allow purchased accounts now in pretty much any region. Like it's just allowed.
I feel like you, Patrick, Topa V, a lot of players are going to be able to, I don't know, like compete or something if they weed out a lot of the, like.
I mean, I'll speak for the, based on what Thompson's saying, I'll speak for the crowd here.
It's hard for me to say a lot of stuff, but like it's just going on my mind, I gotta say something.
Like I'll speak for the crowd here, and like honestly, if you're talking about in terms of like no question about it, not bought accounts, like I'll be honest, I think the three of us outside of Thompson, obviously, because Thompson will make it either way, whether there's bought accounts he's fighting against or not. But I think all three of us have plenty of good chances to be SWC contestants, like without trying that hard.
Yeah.
If they were all weeded out, you know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, a lot of top players quit, and then top players' accounts. Like, see, I'm different. The day I quit, the account dies with me. Like I didn't spend high six figures or middle six figures, whatever you want to call it, to get back $4,000 from my account. I'm good. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'll just keep it. I'll keep it. I'll let the game delete itself. Like whatever. I'll keep it. I'll still have my 2 ancient transcend scrolls. Like I'll keep it. I'm not selling. I'm not selling my account for no pennies on the dollar. You know what I mean?
Right.
It doesn't make sense.
I spend like $3,000 a month in the game, but he doesn't compete. He doesn't do anything. But he's talented, man.
I mean, literally, Thompson said to me like 3 nights ago, "This Patrick, I think you should stop spending on the game because he knows what I spend, and he sees the outcome of it. You know what I'm saying? And I'm literally not getting anywhere. Like I'm not advancing. Like my accounts, the more I spend, the more backwards my account is going. Right?
Yeah. It's not that.
Because like before I got to this point, I was actually higher ranked. Now the more I spend, the lower rank I get. It's kind of like it's kind of going backwards. You know what I'm saying?
Like, you have Yok Hong, Viva, but like compared to just like a bot account, it's just so much stronger, man. You could just buy.
Of course. You could buy a Gianna Ragdoll account for $300 sometimes. You know what I mean?
I'm so desperate. I'll buy a Juno Abellio account. All right, I'll fucking just buy those. I don't even need the LDs. Just give me the counter picks, and I'll be satisfied. But I'm so stubborn to hold my own account because it's my account, right? I've had this for over 7 years.
There's just some kind of feeling to that. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
Listen,
yeah.
I had plenty of opportunities to buy crazy accounts. You know, I was actually friends with one of the guys that was selling accounts a long time ago. The main guy that was selling accounts back in the day, and I was getting offered these crazy accounts that were far better than mine for like pennies. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
pennies.
compared to what you were gonna be spending on your own. Yeah.
And it's like I've been spending on my account since day one, and I haven't stopped spending. Right? I haven't stopped spending. I still swipe, and to be honest, over the last year and a half, I'm swiping harder than I swiped in the past.
Well, yeah.
Both because
now
there's more
the packs. Yeah.
right.
You can buy this purchase limit 3 times.
I also have like these false hopes and false dreams in my mind that I can't get out yet. That I might get something. You know what I'm saying? I actually believe I might get something. You know.
Yeah.
But like at this point in my account, I've been playing for almost 8 years. Right.
Yep.
I have one quad speed rune, dude. One.
Fucking kills me.
See, dude, you and we need to combine our accounts, okay?
I spent 5.5 years, Zig. 5.5 years. I didn't miss a single rune pack in 5.5 years. I have never missed a re-app. I have one quad. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, we need to swap, okay? Because I only buy LDs. I never buy re-apps. I never buy rune packs. I have quad speeds by the truckload, but I have no LDs. I have one Grogan. It's the only thing I buy is LD scrolls.
Dude,
it's like, what the fuck?
Let me say a few things. First of all, I feel like this meta is not really quad speed meta.
I know. You're telling me.
And then another thing is like before I'm not shitting on accounts, people that buy accounts. I mean like I'm just saying like they can still play in SWC and that's fine. But if like Come To Us do make like a seasonal thing or a 2v2 thing, maybe they could like kind of like weed out a lot of those accounts is what I'm saying, you know?
Yeah.
Because I'm not bagging on, I'm not saying like it's bad to buy an account, I'm not saying it's whatever, but there are like a lot of people I look up to, you know, that like, you know, Zig, Firas, Patrick, Topa V, you know, you guys like, wow, you guys play great, you know, and it'll be fun to see you guys in a different format.
Another topic on the account buying thing is like, it is important for the game to have account buyers. Come To Us knows it. They're just never gonna allow, like, legally on paper.
Yeah, the game itself. Yeah, not SWC. The game itself.
I mean, there's two main stories to that. The first story is, and why they'll never like. I know what Tom's saying. Maybe add some other second tournament, but they'll never change the original rulings on things because two things. One, they know obviously there's account buyers. You know, the problem is if they admit to it. Once you admit to it, that's proof. You understand? Right now, it's all speculation, right? This guy bought, that guy bought. Even if people know it's the truth, it's still speculation until Come To Us says he can't play because he's a bought account. Now they're confirming it, right? Once they confirm it, it looks really bad on them because now it's like people are going to go, oh, well,
he's been in there for 3 years.
Why'd you let him play for the last 4 years, right?
Right.
So that's the problem there. That's the first problem. The second problem is it's financially not smart for them, right? Because as much as this game needs free-to-play players to keep the community big, it needs funding. And these guys that buy accounts typically don't buy an account and leave it just bought. You know, they start funding it even more, right?
Yeah.
So these account buyers are actually, they make up like the gross majority of the spending in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, granted, guys like me and Thompson, we spend a ton, right? And Thompson more than me, you know what I mean? But the point is like, we're still organically our account, but we can't compete with the amount of account buyers that spend big money too, you know, because at this juncture of the game, a lot of those old school OP accounts, like accounts we looked up to when we were shit accounts,
they've changed hands four times.
They changed hands multiple times, and every time it's changed hands, it didn't turn into a free to play account. Because I'm not buying a $20,000 account and then not putting another dollar in.
Right? Why would you?
Know what I'm saying? I'm still going to keep funding it to keep it a $20,000 account. Or whatever, you know. So like, from a financial standpoint, not feasible for them, and from a mission of guilt standpoint, very not feasible for them, you know, because the community will just turn on that.
I also kind of have a different point of view in this too. Like maybe not all bot accounts are the same. Like if you bought an account with like starting with a LD, or if you bought an account with like
ragdoll starter account or whatever.
Some people bought an account, holy my god! Some people buy accounts with like already like 9 LDs, you know? Or
and the runes on top, obviously.
And like perfect combination LDs too. You know what I mean? It's not Nagong and Jara. It's, you know, Nephthys and Volantis. You know,
and that's the thing, right? Because it's so hard to summon LD Nat 5s. Forget about specific ones. Forget about Ragdoll.
Exactly.
You know,
right.
Just LD Nat 5s in general. So hard to summon that it becomes feasible for these people to buy accounts, because you can get an account with like 10 LDs, 3 premium ones, 7 shit ones, probably for like $3,000-$4,000, but you would have to spend probably $250,000
with no guarantee. Yeah,
with no guarantee.
With no guarantee that you'll ever get them. Yeah.
I don't have 10.
I've got one. I'm at 3,000 scrolls.
3,000 scrolls. I'll give you a quick story, Zig.
Ugh.
Between 2 of my LDs, I was 4,000 something LD scrolls,
Yeah.
just between 2 LDs.
It's so brutal.
So like it's bad, bro. I swipe a lot. I promise you, I swipe a lot. You know,
we know.
Of course, there's tons of guys swipe more than me. I get it. I swipe a lot though. For the average human being, I am way not average. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I got nothing. You know what I'm saying? That's why even my brother Thompson, who the last thing I tell you right, the last thing Thompson wants to see, because I'll be honest with you, in this game right now, yes, I have a lot of friends like Firas, whoever, right? But the only true friends I have, like from back in the day, is Thompson. And I'm the only person that Thompson has from back in the day. It's like a true friend that still plays. So the last thing Thompson would want is for me to stop playing this game. And he literally said to me 3 nights ago, like, Patrick, I think you should stop spending on the game.
Yeah.
You know, and he knows if I stop, I'm done playing, right? Because I can't play free to play. It's just not going to happen.
Right, yeah.
You know, but like even he suggested, because he just sees like how
Negative.
how bad it's happening.
Okay.
You know?
Well, I guess like for me, I guess not too much. Maybe I worded it wrong. Maybe it's not like the account buying, but like there are really good players like Firas that's in like a mid-range G3, Zig is in G3, and Patrick is in G3. But then the fun of competition, like I lose, but I still have fun competing. I you know,
Right.
like
Yeah.
the to make your account the best version of itself, to get it ready to compete, is like a beautiful process.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
hope like more people could enjoy that, especially at like a G3. Like it'll be so fun watching like Zig go up against like Firas, or like Firas go up
No,
against
and there's so much truth to that,
the
because like
SWC format.
right, there's so much truth to that though, because like I look at a guy like Firas, right? And me and Firas didn't get close till about like, you know, like 2 years, you know, a year or so, 2 years ago from now.
Yeah.
But
The
like
meetups
right,
is
but I've
when-
always respected Firas, because I always knew his monster box was short, right? I always knew he's missing key units. All along he's been missing key units. But he's always used something weird, something different, trying something new, and that's part of the beauty of an organic account. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, you're forced to.
Right, you're
Yeah.
forced to, right. But there's some beauty in that, and there's value in that for the community, right? Because now the guy sitting there that only has 7 Nat 5s, and he happens to have one of the ones you're using, Firas, that nobody else in the world is using, he still feels like he's part of the game. You know, he doesn't feel like, oh shit, I got all the garbage ones. I'm screwed. I'm fucked. Let me quit. You know? They're like, no, Firas, look, he's fucking G3 and he's using this unit. You know what I'm saying? It gives them a little bit of hope. So I think there's the beauty in that with organic accounts. You know, like I just force summon to the point where I have all the elemental Nat 5s, you know, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
So
Now,
like,
nowadays-
I force that to happen. You know what I mean? But
Now the question is, if you buy an account with like, let's just say a Gianna in there and it's level 1, I still feel like it's an organic account.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
but I'm just talking
It's
about
closer than buying Diligence account, yeah,
I mean,
but it's
you'll
not
never-
like.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, but
to be
still.
fair, it's still cheating technically, but you'll never
Yeah,
catch up, right?
okay.
You'll
Right.
never catch up as level 1 account. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, if you
Like,
started
never-
that today,
right.
hell no.
Right, you'll never catch up today. you
Yeah,
know, but
no.
The problem is you're buying accounts that were ready 4 years ago.
Yeah, some of those people
You know
did
what I'm
it
saying?
5,
These
6,
accounts
7
were
years
top
ago.
accounts. These are top accounts from 4 years ago you're buying today. Like this account was already a G3 legend contending account from like 4 years ago, and now you buy it today, for example, you're way ahead of the game, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like you're way ahead. It's just nuts like that.
Yeah.
Well, it'll just be fun for Comtos to like open up new avenues for different players to compete. Either it's 2-on-2, or
So I
like,
actually know
support.
something about that though. So, like last year, I had a similar experience like what you're talking about, where I made it into SWC as a replacement player with 2 people ahead of me that I knew were purchased accounts, and 1 person ahead of me that really just kind of got in because of the way that they do the qualifying thing, where they just take your best score.
Right. from
Because-
the 2 seasons, right?
Yeah, because I finished G3 both seasons, like with like rank 115 being my highest. He finished G1 one season, and then G3 rank 105, 10 ranks ahead of my best,
So you
and
got the
so he got in.
right.
But when I brought that up, what I was told is that they were planning, I don't know if this is still in the works or not, I have no idea, but COVID screwed this whole thing up, but they were planning to make qualifying for SWC a live tournament type of thing, like an open type of...
Like they did in Europe or whatever, like a couple of years ago? I think it was Europe that did that like 3 years ago, 4 years ago.
They might have.
They did an open qualifier like that.
Yeah, so
everybody could join.
Exactly.
And you just fight for that tournament for your spot in SWC.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And that's what I was told was, but they were planning on doing it at like live events, like almost like a Pokemon Worlds type of thing, where like you have to go to nationals in Italy or whatever to try to earn your spot.
Fair. I think that's fair and fun. You know what I mean?
I would love it. I mean, I'm a big Pokemon player myself, so I would love it.
The funding for that, and yeah.
Well, they've got the funding.
Huh?
They have the funding. I mean, that's not. I don't think that's a concern.
We alone paid for like 5 people.
Funded.
We all worked for the company before, and you can just see by the recent collab that funding's not that great. Like it's very like it's always like
okay, but when you
company in the world, your ethos is still cut funding, you know, and they're not
gonna well, I looked into their collab a little bit, and they own 14.8% of that company that owns that game. That 14.8% cost them like $27 billion. So it's not there's no shortage of cash.
You looked into it, Zig.
Huh?
You looked into it.
I know.
What an MVP, man.
Well, the thing is, though, it's like when Cookie Run Kingdom puts units into Summoner's War, they're paying Summoner's War. Summoner's War's not paying them. Cookie Run's the one getting the exposure. Their units are coming into our game to show us what Cookie Run Kingdom is. So they're paying Summoner's War. Summoner's War is not paying them, for one. So it's not really like a budget thing in that regard. But yeah, I mean, they've got the funding, and that supposedly was their plan. That was supposed to start up in 2020, but COVID hit, and you couldn't do live tournaments, and they just kept it to pure online qualifiers and just through the ladder.
What happens too is, and I know this, you know, firsthand, you know, the company, for example, has gone through a lot of staff restructuring, both due to COVID and non-COVID. So like people that had these ideas, that were the ones that were going to drive these ideas and put them into motion, are no longer in the motions. You know what I'm saying? So like that's the problem too. Like people with a lot of great ideas or people with bad ideas, of course, you know, it works both ways. But people come in and out, and then like these ideas come in and out with them. You know what I mean? So that's the issue too, you know. But I like something like that. I think it's very fair.
Even if it was still just purely online. I mean, just do an open qualifier. Even if it's not open, like Guardian 1 or something. You know what I mean? Don't get 50,000 people signing up.
3 or 4 years ago in EU, they did the open qualifiers.
Yeah. But, I mean, that would be great. I mean, just give everyone... Because some people also, too, like me personally, I do maybe 5 to 10 wings a night. Like, I just don't really have time. Like, if it ever comes down to, like, hitting... like requiring top 50 or something like that to get it, I'm just not going to get it. Like, I don't have the LDs. I don't have the time to grind out the wings. It's just like, it's not going to happen. But I would love to play in a qualifying tournament to see who actually belongs in SWC.
And there's a lot of people like you that are in your same shoes. Maybe even C3 that are like you. They just don't have the time to do wings, you know?
It's just so many hours.
It's a lot of investment.
So many hours. The seasons are, what, 3 months long? And G3 is just constantly moving up and up and up over that entire 3-month span. You got to keep going. You got to keep grinding the whole season. But, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think it's a good point. I don't know. I don't think account buyers are ever going to be, like, excluded from SWC. So I do think they should look into a different way of letting people qualify.
I did speak to somebody from like a higher up from the EU office, and EU is very strict on stuff like that.
That's what I heard.
Any account that has broken any point of terms of service cannot participate in SWC.
But isn't that more unfair?
So I'm talking about like any TOS. Like I'm talking about like if Firas logs on my account and does one wing, I'm no longer allowed to compete.
But I don't know if that's good or bad though.
He helped me qualify technically because he won a game on my account. You know what I'm trying to say?
What if I did your summons?
if you do your, I think the summons part is okay.
Okay.
I think anything RTA TOS related, no good. And any kind of account buying, no good. Account trading, no good. Account boosting, boostee, no good. Like anything like involved in that kind of anything that affects RTA, you're out. And any kind of account buying, you're out.
See, that sounds more unfair to me because all the other regions they don't do that. So it's like, oh, just because you're over here, fuck you, and just because you're over here, you're good. Oh, you bought Diligence account? Kind of come right in, sir. If you play on the EU server, nope, fuck you.
I guess you're right. Yeah, I guess you're right. I mean, and that from that standpoint, you have a point. That it's not fair for those guys that are there. But if everybody adapted it, then it kind of be what Thompson's saying.
Yeah, which I mean would be great. I just think it gives the people who bought accounts in regions that allow it an easier path. Technically, right? They might have to fight weaker accounts. Ultimately,
I mean, like I said, I'm not against bot accounts and things like that, but one thing I am a little against is like the part that it's unfair to the guys that really put in the grind, right? The guys that really love the game, that really pour their heart and soul into like making every unit better, trying their best to make what they have work, using units that nobody else in the world would even consider or have tried and just gave up on them, but that's all they have, so they're doing it, and then they kind of get punished by these oppressively bought accounts that are bought, these oppressive accounts that are bought, like that's Agreed. The part that bothers me a little bit. Like I don't care about the account buying, listen,
it keeps the game alive.
I've bought alts and stuff. I'll be honest, I have alt accounts that I've bought in the past, just because I know I'm never going to summon that unit, so I'll just buy it to play with it.
Right?
It has Challenger 1 runes, you know what I mean? Like the Swift set is like plus 80, but it still has an Artemil I could play with. I always wanted an Artemil just because it's, it's the poster boy of the game.
Poster child.
Things like that. But I'm not against account buying by any means, but I'm just against the aspect of people that actually push and try and earn their spot getting shelved out because of these bought accounts.
Yeah, I can.
Also, there's like account buyers that don't spend money on the game, and also people that spend a lot of money on the game, but didn't there's people that spend a lot of money on the game, and that's okay. But there's people that just bought an account and don't spend any money on the game. That's crazy,
Yeah.
Like I know Patrick spends a lot of money on the game, but he didn't buy his account. And there's someone that like spends no money on the game but bought the account.
Yeah.
And it's probably a better account than mine. You know what I mean? And then it's like, wow, really? Like that's sick.
Yeah.
Like you spend pennies on the dollar. Yeah. Exactly.
$4,000 and you just
and that money doesn't even. I mean, that money just goes in some random dude's pocket that happened to pull those LDs. You know what I mean? So.
No joke. That's just like it's just nuts. It's just really crazy that you could just be so ahead in the game just by spending very little money. And guys like me, for example, I spend a lot of money are falling behind. You know what I'm saying? Like day by day, like I'm falling behind, which is insane in my mind. You know what I mean? Because
I don't play as much as you, Pat, but I know the feeling. Like I don't not even a fraction because I have with my sponsorship money, Twitch money, I put it into the account essentially. I get dick all. I'm trailing behind. I get a couple of runes here and there. Sure, I can say that probably over you because you're not getting anything. But like I'm chasing like the basic units and I'm not getting them. And like someone just ups and buys. I bought an account that has all the elements.
Yeah,
I don't even care about I don't give a shit about the LDs. I want the elements.
Some of my most wanted units right now are regular element.
No, there's a lot of truth to that because if you look at SWC this year, there's not that many light and dark units being picked. The drafts are being very consistent of Oliver, Masha, Praha, Juno, Shizuka, Abellio, like
Miles.
all those Miles, right? It's all mostly those elemental units,
Yeah,
and even outside of SWC, if you look at the ladder replays, most of the drafts are just elemental units because right now, because the key to the elemental units is not how good they are, how good they're not. It's the fact that your opponent probably has it, so you don't want to fight against it, so you almost pick it sometimes just to not deal with it, right? Like you'll pick an Oliver when you're not even going a speed comp just because you don't want to get Olivered.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know what I mean? You pick a Masha because you don't want to get Masha'd. But you didn't want Masha. Masha didn't fit your draft, let's say. You're going for a speed cleave, but you don't want to get Masha'd. But so you pick Masha to not get Masha'd. You know, like it's just because because elemental units are technically common when you're playing at this level. It becomes a thing where you're drafting it not so much because you want to use it, but sometimes more so as you don't want to play against it. You know.
Yeah.
I want to segue off of that. It's like talking about the last few seasons, because normally I've always been my thought process on the seasons was it's more rune based than unit based. You can pull off anything you want as long as you have the runes. But the last 3 seasons, it's almost kind of pushing 4 seasons really, where like if you don't have certain units just from the regular elements, you're like heavily punished in draft. And I don't know if it's just me being a crybaby about not having certain counter picks that I would really love to own. I've always wanted to own them. I just never get them until today. But I feel like in the last few seasons, if you don't own certain units...
Hold on.
Yeah, wait, what'd you pull?
Today?
No, I still don't have anything. I'm
still you made it sound like until today. Here's my Juno. Here's my Abelio.
Until today, I finally got my Juno. I haven't streamed. I would stream immediately, no matter where I am. I'm like, look, guys, I finally got my Juno. but like, do you guys like agree, or am I just tripping balls? Where like, if you don't have Juno, Abelio, Oliver, Dominic, LD, forget the LD. I still think LDs could be played around to an extent. There's some of them, obviously, some of them are just fucking nuts. But, like, if you don't own certain meta units right now, and you can't topple them with rune quality, that's the thing. You can't topple these units with rune quality. Do you feel that the recent seasons, this is more...
prominent?
Prominent, thank you. That's exactly... Do you feel it's more prominent in the last few seasons, or am I tripping out?
All right, let me jump on this one. So I was hanging out with you guys at Vegas, and one of the persons I talked to was J-Mac. And then I'm like, why aren't you competing this year? He's like, I just can't pull a Dominic. You know, like, you know how, let's just not say like, you need like Abelio, Miles, whatever, Oliver. You know how hard is it to pull one Oliver? It's like,
there's so many units in this game now.
Might not get you one Oliver. And you can't play if let's not even say Oliver. You can't even play if you don't have one Nana. You know, let's not even talk about Abelio. Let's just talk about just even you're missing one Masha. Oh my god, man. Let's just can't go back to the Bison Chung Peng meta, you know?
No.
But even on the Bison Chung Peng note, like you're saying back 4 seasons.
You had to have Bison and Chung Peng. Yeah.
4 seasons
they were the
you
Masha.
have Bison Chung Peng, or you're just an idiot. You just sit there and just get clobbered by people. It don't matter if you get turn 1. It don't matter if you get turn 2, because once it moves, you don't play anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like
you're done.
You're just a spectator now. You're in spectate mode. You know.
You play the Valkyrie popcorn emote, and you're just
right, 100%.
Make that until you're dead. Like that's all you do because you know you're done.
So right now it's like it is very, you know, it is a pretty obviously runes are always going to be runes, but it is a meta unit oriented like world right now, which is also the reason why, like, technically speaking, not having the fastest runes right now isn't gonna kill you, right? So I'll give you an example, like Big V, for example, right? Everybody last year was talking about Big V. He's the fastest account in the world. He's got the fastest runes, the fastest. What did he use this year that was fast? Nothing.
I can't remember. Nothing. Probably.
He didn't use anything that was fast. Because it's not a fast meta, because you be as fast as you want. Unless you're taking out 2+ units in that one first turn, the speed doesn't matter all that much, because one violent proc changes the whole perspective, you know?
Patrick, Big V, if you watch how things were tuned, Big V was really fast. But I know what you're talking about.
He was fast. I'm talking about like fast, like people talking about they're 320, 330, 340 Swift sets fast. Like nobody uses those sets no more. You know what I mean? So yes, he was tuned and he was very fast for a non-Swift team. I was talking about like Swift speed kind of thing.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, it's been intentional by Com2uS. I mean, like the style of units that they've continued to buff, like specifically require less runes. Like Dominic not needing crit rate and crit damage means you can build a damage dealer now. You couldn't build a damage dealer ever since Crit Fix. It just wasn't a thing. Dominic doesn't need it, so you build him. Masha, 123 base speed, always immune, which is like a really big factor in keeping her tanky. Way easier to rune. Like
Miles.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Imagine like
put them on
HP
defense. They're fine.
Imagine like the meta you're naming right now, and like you're one of those people that fed like 1 Miles or 1 Oliver. Oh my God, it's
That's
so
Scribbles.
hard to re-pull it. You know?
Like Scribbles.
Yeah, Scribble fed his Miles and then just wailed today to try to pull it back.
So I had a blessing one time. This is when the Shadowcasters first came out. It was a Water Shadowcaster or a Dominic, and obviously this is before Dominic buff.
Yeah.
I called Thompson. What do you think I should do? He goes, "Oh, you gotta take the Water Shadowcaster."
Yeah.
In my mind, I was thinking, SP button's still there. I could probably get another Water Shadowcaster. He's like, "Nah, get the Water Shadowcaster. Dominic is horrible." I said, "Fine." I picked the Water Shadowcaster.
Pulled 16 more.
I pulled 7 Water Shadowcasters before I finally pulled Dominic.
Yep.
It's very hard. Back to what Tom's saying, it's very hard to pull a specific Nat 5.
It's almost impossible.
Nat 5, but to pull a specific is crazy because guys like me, they're always chasing a full Pokédex.
Yeah.
Whenever anything drops, I'm summoning like a madman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, SP button.
10, 20, 30K just trying to get one unit. You know what I mean? Like, it is hard. It is hard. Even with the SP button, no SP button, it is fucking difficult. You know what I mean? And now with this collab coming out.
When new units come out, it's like 2 mortgage payments. Done.
Yeah.
At least. Yeah.
100%. It's minimum. Like, of all the new units come out, starting since like mages, it's been well over like 20, 30K without me getting all 3 elemental ones. You know what I mean?
And you don't even have all
Beast Riders even, starting from that.
You don't have all.
I'm missing the wind new thing. What's the new thing?
Zen.
No, the battle angel.
Wind battle angel.
Oh, the battle. Okay, you're talking about those.
I'm still missing the wind
battle. I forgot they were
angel.
even a family shit.
I know.
And I still summon every day. People are saving for the collab. I don't save for the collab. We just rebuy. But like I still summon every day. You know what I'm saying? I rebuy. I don't save. I save some of the premium ones, right? But in terms of like mysticals and elemental scrolls, I just rebuy those later, But the point is like I still summon every day trying to get that wind thing.
Yeah.
For what reason? I don't know. I don't use the fire
worst
or the
unit
water,
in the game.
and the wind's the worst one, right? I don't use any of them, but it's for the sake of having it. I summon for the sake of having it, right? Whether it's good or not, I'm gonna go for it. Like when these cookies come out, even if they're all terrible, I'm getting all the cookies. You know what I'm saying? In that 2-month window, I'm gonna get all the cookies, hopefully.
What do you guys think of those? What do you guys think of those so far? Seeing the one skill set from each family.
Did you look at it, Thompson? Did you look at the 5 that they released?
Did you look, Thompson? Did you look?
I know they look because they're part of the group.
Did you look at the new units that they released?
Yeah.
The skill sets.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you guys think? Anything at all impressive so far?
I mean, it really is all predicated on their
base stats.
Cooldowns. Yeah, why don't they show the cooldowns when they tell us the skill?
Stats, right?
Yeah, like if Gingerbread Man is like 2-turn cooldown on skill 2.
Yeah.
If the light thing is immunity, the light one with the ventilate and immunity.
Yeah.
That's going to be 4, I bet.
That's a lot. Yeah, it'll be a 4. I think Light of Truth. I have it up now.
So that it goes to 6 on a revive.
You mean the Light Kareka? There we have a unit like that.
Light Kareka.
It does less.
But like, I think Holly, the Fire Paladin wannabe.
Siege.
The Siege unit. But I think her S3 has some potential merit depending on base speed mainly. Because if how I think it's gonna work, it seems pretty good for anti-cleave.
She's not gonna have that high of a base speed. That's crazy.
It'd be kind of weird, but we don't know the leader skills either. For all we know, she's the next. Well, probably not the next 33.
Well, usually these kind of skill sets don't come with very good base speeds. You know what I mean?
Nope.
No. I think Hollowberry Shield is a pretty cool skill on paper. We'll have to see in reality what it looks like. But I think like the 200% of your defense. So I was given this example before. So if it's like your total defense, base and rune and artifacts, whatever, and towers, it's 2,000. If it says 2,000 or 200% of that defense, I think she'll mitigate damage up to 6,000 regardless of what it is. So I think some.
You mean 4,000?
So no, 200%.
Yeah,
right?
of 2,000.
Yeah, so
it's 4,000.
Would it not be 100% doubles it, and then another 100 gives it another 2,000?
No, it's just 200% of the number 2,000 is 4,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so so now it's even more whack than I thought it was. So let's say it's a total of 4,000. I didn't realize the math was my math was wonky. So let's say it's 4,000 total defense. So then any damage you get that is below 4,000 is not applied to you, and if it's over 4,000, you subtract 4,000. I think that's how it's going to work. It seems cool if that's how it works. Otherwise, it's probably garbage.
But 4,000 is so little, though, anyway, right? Like 4,000 damage mitigated is nothing, right?
But if it's per hit, it's...
Well, yeah, I guess.
If it's per hit, that's kind of good value. But I don't know if
at that point, though, it's just invincibility. Like,
yeah.
I mean, if you have like a Pontos or something, then it's just better.
Invincibility that can't be stripped.
Yeah, I guess.
Right? That's a pretty decent value. There's a lot of strippers in the game. Most people, like, I draft like 4 strippers in my draft, whether I like it or not. There's 4 strippers in there.
In my head, I would just pair her with either like Wedgeout or Laura and just like run with it.
Wedgeout or Laura, everybody got one of those.
I'm just
saying.
It's
like free-to-play comp.
Yeah, pretty free to play.
Yeah.
The other ones,
it seems okay.
Are very useless in the meta.
Okay, Wedgeout is not useless. He's great with Dominic Masha.
Okay.
What? He's got a high win rate. What do you mean? He's winning games.
No, Wedgeout's not bad, but he's.
I used him all last season.
Yeah.
Oh, last season it was different.
As good as people think he is, but he's not useless. I wouldn't say he's useless.
No, I would like a Wedgeout, personally.
I mean, Wedgeout's good. It's just some of the meta monsters just does so much more, you know.
Well, right now the problem is the only buffs that are really relevant are attack buffs and speed buffs. Every unit that's good right now scales off of attack buff, because everybody does, and speed buff. You know, so like there's not enough units that benefit from the defense buff, the armor buff.
Yeah, I don't think that's what makes him good though. I do think people use him kind of strangely though, because he's a really bad Swift unit because he doesn't give himself the bar. So what happens is, like, if you S2 and you give your units their turn, right? They're now out of their immunity. So unless you brought a different unit that gives them immunity, then it doesn't do anything, right? Now you get the debuffs put on you. But because Wedgeout didn't give himself the bar, he's not going to get back in front of your team to give them the healing from that passive. So I actually think he's more of like a violent unit.
And you know these things? You're a genius.
Dude, I just think about this stuff, okay? But like when I'm fighting him, though,
the LDs you might get.
Right. I theory craft teams for LDs I don't have. But I do think Wedgeout, like, I mean, it sucks to have to waste a violent set on him, but it's just better because he's a passive healer similar to a Molly, but you don't want to be in front of your opponent. If you're in front of your opponent and he doesn't give himself the bar, you're going to get crushed.
The passive healing did give him a little more purpose in life, you know what I mean?
It's a really strong heal, but it doesn't work because he doesn't give himself the bar. He's just, after he does that first move, like if you're up against a team like mine, he's never moving again. There is no second move. It's already over for you.
The big thing is he doesn't give himself the heal.
He doesn't heal himself either. Yeah, I know. That sucks.
A bit whack. I didn't know that part about him. Doesn't heal himself.
All right, let's not talk about Wedgeout. Let's talk about the new monsters. I was just saying.
Let's go back to Ginger Brave. Do you think he's going to be equivalent of Miles on the attack speed increases as your HP conditions best? So at full HP, let's say you room on a 170 set. Do you think he's going to be the same as Miles, where he's actually like a...
I don't think he'll ever be as high as Miles, only because Miles scales based off of how, like, you know, a lot more elements besides just the HP kind of thing. You know what I mean?
True.
So his limitation is max HP, right? Once his HP is max, that's it. And
but we don't know the bar they're setting on that, right? Like, it could be plus 30 speed. It would be insane if it's plus 30 speed.
I mean, they're known to make busted win units, so you never know, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
If the meta stays the same, who is your Miles #1 target usually for skill 2?
For some reason,
Masha?
my cigar or Chung Pung. For some reason.
Masha is usually your, like, it's what you bring Miles into. You see Masha bring Miles. But then Gingerbread Man ain't going to do nothing to Masha, man. So.
Yeah.
If
But
you
that's
ever
like,
need that flexibility to take care of Masha, well, Masha's gonna wreck the gingerbread man.
And
And
again,
we don't know Masha procs.
and again, all these skills are always gonna be predicated on like their base stats. You know, if they all come out with 91 base speed, like none of them are usable, right?
If he's squishy too, like a 9k HP attack unit, he's gonna suck.
Right.
Okay,
That's the thing. Like the base stats are so important. You know, when you
picture
judge a
this.
monster.
Your gingerbread man skills to Masha, push the nemesis up for Masha. Masha slows the gingerbread man.
you're done.
Violent procs, armor breaks the gingerbread man, absorbs attack bar. Oh my god.
He's probably dead in that one hit.
But it's okay. It's okay if the animation of his death is him crumbling like a cookie. And then it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay.
A cookie. I get it.
And the biggest thing is Miles, despite who is faster, Miles also doesn't need any kind of stat build. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like you just build him beefy. Like this gingerbread man, you're probably not going to be able to build him beefy.
He's not going to do any damage.
And he'll do no damage.
Right.
So if you build him to do damage, exactly what Thompson just said, you
Masha
nem push and you get one shot. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the problem. The reason why Masha's good, the reason why Dominic's good, the reason why Miles is good is because they can kill and they don't get killed back as easy. There's a ton of units that kill, right? Oberon kills, Daphnis kills, but they get killed back just as quickly.
Yeah.
Dominic kills you. Dominic Violent Procs, he's killing you. You Violent Proc, you're not killing Dominic. That's the difference. That's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? That's why these units become a problem because they do solid damage and they don't really take solid damage. You know what I mean?
We're all speculating on they're good or bad. I'm just speculating that it's going to be really bad. But
yeah,
the meta right now,
I agree.
The water damage dealer is Miles, the wind damage dealer is Dominic, and the fire damage dealer is Masha. They all are better than Gingerbread Man. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they all crush him.
When it comes out, the multipliers might be different. The cooldowns might be different. The awakening, the speed might be different.
And to be fair, usually whatever skills, whichever color Kamtua shows is usually the shit one.
Well, he's the only one though for that family. But
Gingerbread.
We think
he's solo dolo.
He's the free one everyone gets.
No, he's the free one, but they're still making other colors of him.
Really? I mean, I guess maybe.
I was reading that. Yeah, I didn't read that it was specifically him, but it did say in the notes that.
Yeah, I know what you're. Yeah, I know what you mean. I'm pretty sure he's solo dolo. I think he's only wind.
You're comparing it like he's the Ken, right?
Yeah, I think because everyone gets him from the event for free.
Got it. Okay. I mean, they might just give that color for the event. I don't know.
They might. You could be right. I didn't even think of it like that.
Right as well. Yeah. I didn't think about your side of it. Yeah, where he's like equivalent to the Ken or Shadow Claw or whatever. You know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Got
it. I think. Did anyone notice if they mentioned that these units cannot be used in RTA when they're released? Because I didn't read that anywhere. Mind you, I read this like at 7 a.m.
Yeah, I was reading it at work, like quickly going over this. I don't know.
But I actually have a thing also here that I'm thinking that the vanilla cookies or whatever, the vanilla cookie is gonna be probably gonna be a 4-star unit, and only the LD is 5.
It could be
because Street Fighter was 2 and 2, right? It was 2 5s, 2 4s.
Yeah.
Right now on paper, it's showing 4 5s.
Well, no, it's right now. It's 3 5s, 2 4s, right?
Yeah.
Because gingerbread's a 5, vanilla's a 5, and
the water thing's a 4. Okay.
Yeah, which is he does not look like a 4-star.
Then obviously Espresso and Madeline are going to be 4s.
Dude, the Madeline one threw me way off. That unit does not look like a fucking 4-star. Did you see his Calm to Us version too? That unit looks fucking crazy. He's a 4-star. What the?
They
That's
give a
nuts.
lot of artwork to their 4-star for once. But I actually thought the vanilla was going to be a 4-star just based on how crappy it looks in terms of like detail.
It's like Iona.
It looks like a 4-star.
Yeah, it looks horrible. Yeah,
I don't think her skills are that great either. I mean,
I thought the Espresso was going to be a 5-star. It turns out to be a 4-star. I was like, okay, I guess.
He actually, I'm glad that family's coming out with an S1 beneficial block because I fucking hate Steel Fortress, and hopefully that will actually make like a speed Steel Fortress team that's not fucking stupid.
Oh, that's interesting, yeah.
So are you guys team let them play Cookie Kingdom monsters for SWC or team no?
Team yes.
I'm team yes, but I don't think they're going to.
I'm team yes in the sense of I think that it puts a lot more element of preparation and it gives advantage to people that should have an advantage, right? If you want to whale out before the tournament, then here's your chance to whale out before the tournament.
Right, you could do that on LDs and get Gianna, right?
Previously, they didn't do it because some regions had their prelims and their qualifiers already and some didn't, is why they didn't do it previously. But
well, they blocked Street Fighter from RTA because China server can't have cross advertisement like that, and I think they're going to have the same issue with this. I think that's why they're making Com to Us versions. Right. So I don't think they're going to allow. I like we might honestly have to wait until next year before even on regular RTA you can bring a cookie in, because that's what we had to do with Street Fighter.
Right. Because of the whole China thing. Yeah.
I don't really care if you could use it for competition or not use it for competition. I just really care I could use it in my own RTA when I'm not.
Yeah, and I don't think we can, unfortunately.
He's saying you probably can't until after November.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Just regular RTA.
Street Fighter, you couldn't use it in a regular RTA either, not just SWC.
I have this water right you that can.
Oh my god, dude! I was just dreading that unit coming out because I didn't pull them from the fucking Street Fighter scroll. So I'm just like, no, dude, I don't want to. Waiting for that bomb to hit.
I made sure I got all the elemental Street Fighter units, and I got screwed because my brother Thompsin. A real quick little caveat, a little story, real quick. Fire Bison and Fire Ryu come up as the blessing. I'm like, which one? He goes, Fire Ryu is terrible. He goes, get the Fire Bison. I said, okay. I grabbed Fire Bison.
He was right.
Wasn't wrong. He wasn't wrong. I grabbed the Fire Bison. I summoned 7 Wind Ryus.
Oh, man.
And 6 Fire Bisons before I finally got Fire Ryu. I didn't get Fire Ryu till October 29th, 2 days before the collab expired.
I remember watching your streams trying to get him.
I bought every pack.
Need the skills.
And then Com to Us was trolling me because they would give me this. I swear to you, this was October 1st. They gave me 7 blessings. It was a fire unit with a Wind Ryu. Fire unit, Wind Ryu. Fire unit, Wind Ryu. 7 times it happened.
Yeah.
I was like, this game is actually trolling me right now.
Yeah, the only Street Fighter unit I have is Fire Bison. I pulled 3 Water Bisons during the Street Fighter scrolls, but I fed them all for Ancient Crystals, so... the only Street Fighter character I own is fucking Fire Bison. Everything else I didn't get until after the Summoner's War versions came out.
I can tell you here, though, I think I'm decided that when these cookies come out, for the gross amount that I'm going to be summoning, if I don't get an LD Nat 5, not necessarily the cookie, if I don't get an LD Nat 5, I think I'm going back to, I'm going to go to like the re-app only life.
Oh, no.
Like I'm cutting down. I'm done spending, bro.
That's a rip. That's a rip for Com to Us.
Yeah, I'm root.
No one else.
You just made me root for you to not pull an LD because I want you to save them. I want you to stop giving them the money.
Yeah, it's like extreme, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it's getting extreme. You know, like, it's getting out of hand. You know,
it's been extreme. What do you mean?
All right, yes, it's been extreme,
it's getting
extremer. You know,
extremer. Yes,
extremer. Yeah,
extremist.
Yeah. So if I don't get like an LD Nat 5. Like from my summons, I'm probably gonna take a step back and drop to reapps only, if even that, you know, because I feel like if I drop to reapps only, I'm just gonna stop spending entirely.
Yeah.
And if I stop spending entirely, I might just stop playing. You know, I don't see myself playing without spending. You know, but it's getting a little out of hand because like I'm getting a lot of packs every month. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
it's getting really bad.
I do have a question for you guys about collab units, though. So, what do you guys think about letting people who don't want to keep the collab look of the unit being able to transmog it over to a regular?
I like that, especially because they release skins.
Yeah, I know.
So if they didn't release skins, I'm okay with not being able to pivot it.
Yeah.
But once a skin was released, I should be able to turn my Bison into a skin slayer.
Of course, yeah.
You know, because now I'm buying that skin, right? But I don't use any slayers.
Yeah. I hate the way Fire Bison looks. I want a Fire Slayer. I think Bisons look so goofy.
Hold on. To be fair, or when I summon a Fire Slayer, give me one that's max skilled already.
Oh yeah, that too.
You know what I'm saying? So I get choice. So I'd have to. So because I want to use the skin, I gotta waste 12 more Devilmons. You know what I mean? granted, I have 300. It's not a big deal, but the point is, not everybody has 300, and it's not fair, right? Because like I've summoned the Slayers, obviously, you know, but I have the Bison, so it's like it feels like you're part of the more exclusive crowd, and Street Fighter nostalgia, of course, but
see, I have no connection to Street Fighter. I want the Summoners War.
Is more like exclusive, right? So why would I have to want to skill up another Slayer, even if it wasn't more exclusive? Like I have to waste Devilmons, waste resources to level up another Slayer just to use a skin that I bought because it comes in a package. You know, like it's dumb. You know, so I don't think I'm okay if they don't let you pivot based on the monster alone. But if they make a skin for the new one, you should be able to pivot into that skin.
Yes,
I think that.
Yeah.
What do you think, Thompson? Again, what are you gonna say?
Yeah, I agree with you guys.
Yeah. Imagine those like light Madeline cookie or whatever, or dark one is like the next Kinky, like pre-nerf Kinky. Like, I don't want it to be that cookie. I want it to be that sick ass fucking huge warrior dude. Like, are you kidding me? I don't want to be stuck with the cookie. But I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with that.
Yeah, I feel like they really should like incorporate that. Like, if you buy the skin, you should be able to transform yourself, or at least. When I summon the other unit, if you're gonna make me summon the other one,
right?
Then when I summon the other one, I should be fully doubled.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you can't use two of the same ones anyway, right? In any content that matters.
Exactly.
Yeah. So like, what's the problem with giving me a fully skilled one? You know, if I already summoned the other one, you know.
Yeah, and that literally that argument only comes up because you can't apply a skin on a collab unit. Otherwise, you just let me do that. Then you don't need to give me a fully skilled unit so I can use a skin. Why even release a skin? The majority of players,
right? Exactly. I feel the same way.
There's no way they even made enough. Like in my head, there's no way they even profited enough. Like yes, there's SB button that released at that time, but they don't give out enough Devilmon for me to skill up a Carnal and a Fire Bison. I don't get enough Devilmon to have both. I can't even use both at once. In a way, you can use both in RTA if you use them differently, sure, and then you can decide which one you want to pick.
Swift Carnal.
Right.
Yeah, but no one is.
But you can do that with 2 Ganymedes too, right? So it's like whatever, you know.
But no one's that not many people have that luxury to have a regular Carnal ruined. I'm just using Carnal as an example. A Carnal, because I summoned a Carnal. I would have loved to have kept it, but in reality, I don't get enough Devilmon to have both a Fire Bison ruined and fully skilled and a Carnal ruined and fully skilled, and have just because I want to use a skin. Well, like, you're not getting my skin money anymore. Sorry, like I can't.
They shouldn't have sold. To be honest, they probably shouldn't have sold the skin for it if they didn't let you incorporate it on both.
It's kind of a bad skin too, to be honest. He rolls the tire or whatever. It's kind of weird.
The donut. I like the donut throw. I like the donut throw personally.
Yeah.
But
the tire provokes more, bro.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Right.
Not true.
Not
my cigar has
Wait, do you have Gurkha or Dark Bison? I don't actually.
Yes,
Gurkha. Okay. Yeah.
Some people have both. Who has both? I think Night Mist has both, doesn't he?
Of course he does.
Yeah.
Actually, quite a few people have both.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like probably the most dupe LD out there is between having a Gurkha and having the Dark Bison. I've seen so many people like it's insane.
Zadorus has both. I'm pretty sure. Zadorus has both.
That's one. That's another example. This is proving my point. That unit. There's the most duplicate of. No way there isn't.
He doesn't have to worry about the endless debate of Vio or Triple Revenge. Build them both.
Have both.
But they gave him the game. They made him the best unit in the game right now. So.
Yeah, he is pretty good.
Once he gets going, it's over. Like if he gets started, it's over. You just put your phone down. You go for a break. You take a smoke break. You take a drink break. You go to the bathroom. You know.
I've been using.
He's not gonna kill you fast. So it's gonna be like 10 minutes of your life that you became a spectator. Like you were a participant, and now you've transformed into a spectator. So you might as well take your bathroom breaks and stuff.
I actually don't like him that much. I don't think he's that great. But I've kind of adapted my draft to deal with him. Like I'm using a lot of like when I need a booster but not like a speed booster, I just use like a Swift Vela, and then like after I get my immunity up to stop him for a turn, I just defense break him, and since he's Swift, he's in front of all my units, and then I just crush him on the next turn.
How to counter Gurkha?
Yeah, how to beat Gurkha, yeah.
But you're already throwing like 2 units to counter the 1 Gurkha.
Well, I mean, Vela's immunity is just really strong right now anyways, though, because the turn 2 teams that are picking Gurkha are lacking strips heavily anyways. So
okay,
it just works.
I mean, I think Gurkha is really strong, and
I think he's good.
Like, I'm hoping that like Comtours could just like have those units like that when it first comes out. Because I have
instead of waiting 2 years.
I have a little thing where I feel like if Gurkha was that strong when it first got released, a lot of, like maybe Island Grown wouldn't have stopped playing, you know, or like it would be very exciting for people to pull this thing.
It is so lackluster when they drop families of just total shitters.
Hold on, but to be fair, what happens when they do that is that it gets too strong, then they nerf it and people quit because they wasted Devilmons and resources into it, right?
Yeah, or someone pulls a
people, you know, like stuff like that, you know?
Or someone, I don't know, pulls a Veronica and shoots up to rank 1 on the ladder. What do you know? She's
if they never nerf.
Not going to say any names, but just check your check the standings in RTA.
If they never nerfed Shayna Martina, we wouldn't have lost the Archer, right? So it's like one of those things, you know?
Well, Shayna Martina. Imagine this meta with Shayna Martina like that with the speed lead, and you run it with like
with Veronica. Anyway. Oh my God, Veronica, Shayna Martina.
Okay. Let's talk about Veronica for a little bit. Veronica's second skill is a little bit too good.
My God, it just decimates you, dude. It just
everything is
her base speed, her Ack Awakening. That S3 is the best in the game. That S2 decimates your team. It's like holy shit.
I mean, the thing is, like, you know, even the dark one is like the Nana assassin.
She's nasty.
It's the Nasha assassin. Okay. Like you just
the dark one is good, but the white one you could draft in any situation.
Yeah,
so
pretty much
good.
Any situation. Yes.
Any situation, you're right.
Dude,
100%.
2 people pulled her in instant. They're in the top 10 right now. One of them was rank 1 for like the first half of the season. They weren't even in top 100 last year.
Did you guys do the calculation? Which skill is better, Rika skill 3 or Veronica skill 2? Because I think Veronica skill 2 is better because it scales with speed, right?
It doesn't slow, but it does way more damage.
It scales with speed, right?
Yeah.
It is 3 times or something.
3 to 4. So you can even high roll and hit 4s on everything and just wipe the deck with your setup unit. It's not even your carry unit; it's your setup. And she's doing.
Dude, skill 3 is nuts, dude.
Yeah, well, that's how I see Oliver too in that spot. Like Veronica is an LD Oliver, and like not the
she
same.
Is.
And the same
universe is ahead of him.
No, but I mean like in field presence where like you have a unit that shouldn't do what it does for what it has, like how much it does. So like Oliver being a 33 lead, but he's also your control unit and he's also your damage dealer and he's also this and he's also that.
His base stats are incredible too.
You know how crazy it is to have 2 Olivers in a draft?
Huh?
Yeah, one's called Gurkha.
Oh, fuck off.
No. Okay, yes.
Wait, what's 2 Olivers?
Gurkha serves the same purpose as Oliver. Like, they essentially serve the same purpose.
He's comparing Veronica to...
I know, Oliver. He's saying imagine having Oliver and Veronica in the same draft.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then you add in a Gurkha, and then the guy can literally just go home.
Yeah, just leave the match. Don't bother. Rune quality doesn't matter at that point. Just leave the match. You're not going to beat him. But what I'm saying is Veronica in that sense is she's your setup. She's a stripper with the 1 of 4 base speed, which allows her to move ahead of your team very easily. So she's your damage dealer, your setup, your stripper, your cooldown, your Did I say damage already? I'll say it twice because it's absurd. She's your damage twice. That's what I mean by like their equivalent where they do too much as a single unit, and that's why it's such a shitstorm that they ever released Veronica and Oliver. Like that point, like you can't have that one unit just do everything on its own. It's absurd, like so absurd. And then additional damage scaling on top of not just doing damage for Veronica, but then additional damage on top of that. That's what makes it all absurd. That's why I call them the same.
Most Veronicas is like they're on Swift, so they're not even at like like most the scary Veronicas are on Swift and does so much on Swift.
Yep. You have 2 turns to live, and in those 2 turns, you're completely on cooldown because of her skill 3. So what the fuck are you gonna do? Like,
and scale on speed on a Swift unit, like
dude, my Veronica would be almost 340 right now if I had a Veronica on Swift Will. Like, give me that unit, dude.
Give me them runes, bro. I don't care about the. I'll trade the units for the runes, bro.
Runes don't matter. We just had the discussion.
It matters if you have Veronica.
It matters when you have no runes.
Yeah,
just
no.
use Masha. You'll be fine.
I mean, and I know Thompson, you gotta go soon, so I don't want to like start a whole new topic. But honestly, if they just like with units like Oliver, I think you almost need to switch to a format, like a competitive type format. Maybe you try this in Special League first, where both players can pick each unit. Like if I take Oliver, he's not blocked out for my opponent.
A Special League like that,
dude.
Oh my god,
that's how Pokemon is, right? Really? Like you don't have to worry about nerfing Incineroar when both players can have him because it's fair. Both players can have him. Like
I don't think it should be like that, but Special League like that.
Just try it. Fun. Yeah, just try it. Fuck it.
They don't utilize Special League enough as they should. It's such a joke. It's
I mean, that's the problem too. Like you say, like okay, just try it, but it makes sense because right now Oliver holds a certain position that like nothing else could equal it. You know what I'm saying? Like, once I pick the Oliver, you can't pick anything equal.
Right.
You can pick a counter to Oliver, but you can't pick anything equal to Oliver.
Yeah, if that unit's going to exist, both players should be able to play him.
Right.
A funny thing happened last weekend. I thought I won in the tournament when I picked Juno and Masha into the Oliver, and then the Oliver. Well, for sure he has the speed lead because I'm not going to contest speed with him. And then the Oliver Violent Proc, he set my Juno. Hey, Juno! My Juno didn't strip! I saved fast for no reason. I got my butt kicked.
Yeah.
Like he saved fast. He was saying he saved fast link for the Juno strip, but then Juno had no strip because Oliver reset it. You know. So like that's what I'm saying. Like
yeah.
a unit that does that has Juno, the kick that's irreplaceable. You know.
No, my Juno did not had the skill up.
It missed the strip. Yeah. It missed the strip. Yeah, that's rough too.
Yeah, because the other thing too, though, it's like
Oliver's really good.
When I'm watching like replays and stuff like that too, like if I see like like Thompson and Seishizo fought, just for example, just because they share an LD, like I don't want to see who gets first pick. I want to see who has the better Gianna. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want to watch. Like I want to see the two Giannas versus each other. I don't want to see, Say got first pick, so it's his.
The biggest problem with that is like, even if not even that argument, just the argument of the fact that there's nothing that can replace it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Like nothing does the same thing an Oliver does. You know?
Oh,
nothing
not even
does
close.
The same thing Gianna does.
I have a problem with that format. Just thinking about it right now. So what if you pick Oliver?
Yes.
And I pick Oliver, and then you pick Gianna, and then I pick Gianna.
Yeah.
And then you pick K-Game, and I pick K-Game.
I love this dude. This is Pokemon. This is what I'm built for.
What he's saying is who's the better Gianna, the better Hey-Gangs?
I might not like that. No, even especially like that sounds kind of stupid. Because it's like...
I like the mirror match. I want to know who's better. Right? The winner of that match is going to have either the faster Gianna or more...
This is coming from the guy that used to do Siege, picking mirror matches into mirrors. Right,
dude, that's exactly it. Like, I want to see, like, in that match, you now have to actually think to yourself, do I have a faster, like, let's just, I know you normally use Violent Gianna, but let's just say you're both using Swift in this scenario. You have to know either A, you're faster than his Gianna, or B, you're going to have to pivot accordingly. Because you can't just take his and be like, there goes your Swift set. Sorry. It's over here now. Like, you now...
Both people should have a ragdoll, right? Because nobody replaces ragdoll's kit.
Yeah. Give us all ragdoll. No, but I just... I like
I'm not
that.
Sure about that. Because then, like...
At least for a specialty. Give me a specialty. It's 2 weeks.
Yeah. Like I said, especially like that would be cool. But then it's kind of weird. You'll see a bunch of, like, people just go, like, they draft Masha, I draft Masha.
Hell yeah.
They draft Dominic, I draft Dominic. Let's just see who, like, this is weird, you know?
See who's
for a
stronger.
League, I would love it. I'm surprised this format has never crossed my mind. After, like, because you can play almost any game, or you can just play the same cards, right?
Oh, it's every other game, but some
pretty much every other game.
It's every game in the world.
Card games, obviously. Pokemon, obviously.
The only issue to this whole story is that
not everyone owns everything.
Like the whole theory is like, okay, if I have better runes, I should win. The problem with all this is
I think
there's still RNG in this game.
Of course, but I think
that's the part that kills the whole thing, right? Like, okay, I have Gianna, you have Gianna, but mine lands a bomb and yours doesn't. Yours is way better route, but it don't land the bomb, and I just happen to land the bomb with 20 accuracy. 50. Like it's fucked up. You know what I mean?
But I think more often than not, though, that format would favor like the better draft because like because that person's only going to get you with the I have the faster Gianno once, right? Now you know. So now you have to find right. You've got to go a different direction. You're not just going to replay that match, run it back over and over again. Like you're going to actually have to think, and it's not just going to be. I'll just first pick it from him next time, and then he just won't have it.
I don't hate it for crazy. Yeah, I don't hate it.
But yeah, it's just something interesting. They could do a lot of stuff for Special League, but also pre-ban should be in regular RTA. That's my other side pick.
2v2 should be a regular thing.
Do you think what?
2v2 should be a regular thing.
Oh my god, yeah. I wouldn't even play regular RTA. I love 2v2.
I love 2v2, man.
Oh, okay. Well, let's go back a little bit. Why should pre-ban be a regular RTA?
Because they can't balance their game. And they need but they need their community to help them balance it.
I could sit through 50 seconds of
No. Nope. I've already fixed your solution, your issue.
Okay, hold on. I have two questions.
Okay, that one I already fixed though.
Okay, all right, done. And then number 2, I have to change my picture and my screen name every other week.
Oh, fix that one too, dude. This is perfect. You select your pre-ban before you queue up. It adds.
What's the point of pre-ban?
What do you mean? You select pre-ban. This unit is what I am pre-banning in the next match. I don't get to see my opponent and snipe his best unit. Like that's fucked up. That would be awful. And then B, also, it doesn't add any time anymore because you've already selected it. You're just getting back into a regular draft. It's going to kick up and say you pre-banned Verd, he pre-banned whatever, and then so time doesn't change. And I think it's bullshit right now. You can even see your opponent's name in the draft, even without pre-ban. It's bullshit.
That people like, no offense, but people like you're gonna pre-ban Masha or Anters or something, and just go double strip control every game.
Leo, yeah. And people better adjust or they're gonna lose.
I would love to see.
I'm sorry, I'm against that. So yeah.
No,
so you're telling me you think it's unfair that I would be able to ban one unit out of the 1,000 plus that's in the game?
Well,
that would be unfair.
You could pre-ban Leo and just run your speed, double control, double strip comp every single game, the same comp.
But if you're somebody who was planning on countering it with Leo, wouldn't you set your pre-ban to be Chung Peng or something?
So then,
why wouldn't you just accommodate?
There was a lot of seasons where I would love to pre-ban Triple Revenge Verd or a Tetra or Juno or even a Leo, and just.
But then you wouldn't be able to pick it.
I mean, I am a Nefties user, but I think it's also beautiful to find counters for those units as well.
There's like 1,000 units in the game. Why do you? It's one pre-ban.
I'm not so much big on getting the free extra pre-ban. I'm a little big on the other thing you said, where you don't get to see your opponent's fucking name when you play.
It's such bullshit, dude. I haven't had a speed battle in fucking a year.
I like seeing like just your star quality. I don't need to know who you are. I don't need to know that you have a ragdoll I have to fight against. You have a fucking Violantis I have to fight against. I'll just fight you random. Yep. I'll draft against your draft, not against your name.
Yes.
It's such bullshit.
Drafting against your name causes problems. Drafting against your draft is a true testament of your ability. You know what I'm saying?
Especially if you make content or stream. People know your builds. They know your favorite units. They know what you do and don't have.
Yeah. You become a part of Kenji Summoners War.
It's such a shit show, dude. No one speed contests me. It's like I just don't even get to play that version of the game anymore. Where like you're going back and forth with speed leads and like jockeying for position because people just know like, okay, this is what his Swift set is. This is what my Swift set is. I don't have to. Why bother?
I can't beat that.
Why? Slow, yeah. So now I just go the other way. I just think like one pre-ban anyways, it's like, I don't know, like units like Leo though, I just don't like what they do. And I'm on the same side for turn 1. I don't like what Oliver does to the game because he's way too cracked for a 33. Nothing even comes close, not even the LD one in Trinity. She's not even in the same stratosphere as him. Like people should be able to pre-ban Oliver, especially if they don't have it. They're probably... I can't. Oh man, if you don't have, that's got to be fucking miserable. Like,
imagine every Volantis user would never lose again, though.
They'd be really strong. You'd have
I
to
don't care about
you'd have to get it. You'd
supplies.
have to get a different counter for it. Like you'd have to figure out.
Zig, I understand that you say like you could pick other units to counter your comp.
Yeah.
And but RTA is you need two of the same. Like you need a Masha and a Leo to counter your comp. You know, yeah, not just.
But I already do things like unorthodox. Like I fight Volantis all the time. Like I don't have a Haygang ruined. I don't have any of those units ruined. What I do?
You need both Antris and a Leo. You know, you need like a lot of times you need both. You know, is what I'm saying.
With the pre-ban, you lose both.
But like you can find other ways. Like the way I personally counter Volantis is I have a Daphnis that's in front of my Water Ryu and things like that I can just either snipe off the Volantis or snipe off the unit that he's trying to cut with if he goes triple revenge vert. Like there are other things you can do. It's not just they're gonna pre-ban Haygang and now they're never gonna lose. I don't even use Haygang and I'd still beat those people because I just do other things. I snipe them in different ways or I do different stuff. Like there are other ways to
You're not thinking about it enough, Tom, because like I'll give you an example. For me, I would always pre-ban Oliver in my situation because I can't counter it and I can't outspeed it.
And you can't match it.
Yeah. And I can't match it. My 180 sets are a garbage when Oliver's on the field. So if I pre-ban Oliver, I don't care about any other unit in the game because I know for the majority of them, I can outspeed them with just a 24 lead if I need to take.
Or you just have an answer for them.
You don't have.
Or I just have an answer. But Oliver's the only thing I can't come up with a respectable answer. I say respectable because
but to be fair to that statement, now that you banned my Oliver, that means you beat me every time because you could pre-ban Oliver because I can't outspeed you anymore. That's not fair from my end now.
Guys,
use your other unit.
I really have to go. I really have to go.
Okay, no problem. No problem.
I go. See ya. I'm sorry.
No, don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Brother. Good luck next week.
This is a long one anyway.
Yeah.
But the only thing I'll say,
I'm not against the pre-ban thing. I'm just saying, but like, so it's fair for you.
Well, no, but what you would have to do.
But it's not fair for me that I spent 400K and then I can't use the one unit that gives me a chance to contest speed with you.
Yeah, but right? what you would have to identify though is what in the draft when they've banned Oliver is actually killing and beating you, right? Like if you identify,
I don't come up with a new comp that doesn't outspeed for us anymore, but I could beat him a different way. I know,
but you could also plan a pre-ban for players who are doing that. Like if when they ban your Oliver, what's getting you killed is their Chung Pung follow-up. Maybe Chung Pung is what your pre-ban should be to neutralize people pre-banning Oliver, right?
Yeah, but that's hard though because on that
it's
same
tough.
Token,
yeah.
Like, on that same token, now that game I pre-ban Chung Pung, they don't ban Oliver. Now I have an Oliver with no Chung Pung to use.
Yeah,
you know what
it's
I mean?
tough.
So it's like,
I know.
Yeah, so
it's
awkward,
good.
You know what
I mean? I like that. I like that side of the strategy because
that's the strategy for limited monster boxes.
Yeah, but some people are going to go against you and they're going to pre-ban triple revenge verd, right? Like if you queued into me, my pre-ban would be triple revenge verd, and you'd be like, I don't even use that shit, and then I don't even have a pre-ban versus you.
Oh, I get it. No, but at the same time, like this is a conversation that will always. People that have a full monster box will always argue out of favor for it, and people that are missing key units will always argue. I don't know.
Doesn't it benefit you to have a full monster box if you only lose one unit off a pre-ban?
No, because I can pick whatever I want. Well, like when you have a full box, you don't want to be limited to anything. When you have a short box, like for us, for example, he doesn't have a Juno or an Oliver, right? Okay, so he would love that. He never has to see a Juno or an Oliver again the rest of his life.
Yes.
Right? But now the guy that has a full box, I want to be able to answer everything Faraz does.
Yeah.
I don't want to be inhibited, you know?
I consider that, I just consider that a cop-out though, right? Like the only reason you even have that
it's a cop-out, but you can't fault people for buying the unit.
Yeah, but that cop-out only even exists because Comptos can't balance their game. Like they just accidentally buffed Juno on accident. She's stronger now.
From a technical standpoint, though, these are technically units that are accessible to anybody. Technically.
Yeah.
Technically.
Like if you spend $10 million, you'll have all the elemental units. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
Yeah, but
I don't care how bad you look.
Well, then it's not technically available because you'd have to have 10 million available to you.
Well, I get but that's why the game can never be balanced. You know what I'm saying? Because nobody has a balanced wallet.
But that's the thing,
Right.
like, but that's why it's like,
What's
could
in
you
my
imagine
pocket
if
right now is not in Firas's pocket, and what's
Yeah.
in Firas's pocket is not in your pocket. You know
But
what I'm
like,
saying?
could you imagine
why you
if
can't balance.
League of Legends, for example, like I don't know what other games you play, but like if League of Legends right now still just had one ban at the beginning of every game,
No,
there's
I
like
know,
there's
of
like
course.
600
It's
units
not,
in that
it's not
game.
enough.
It's
Units,
like,
of course.
how the hell could you ever freaking balance a
get it.
game when like you got to give your players some power to help you balance their meta? You know what I mean? Like I don't like
Well,
that.
you know what the only quote unquote balance in this game is? It's fucking violent procs and despair
Yeah,
stuns.
seriously, revenge
That's the only
runes,
balance. That's the
resist,
only thing that gives weaker
15
players a
res.
chance. You know,
Yeah.
like you sound like you run Swift teams. Okay, the only way you lose is the violent procs.
Or just 15 res. 15 res is the only thing. It's like,
right, and the rest, right.
get rid of that shit and I'm golden.
That number
Yeah.
one RNG is 15 res for sure.
Yeah, I mean,
RNG is their only equalizer in this game. You know.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't even really. I honestly don't even really play much Swift comps. I'm similar to Firas. We mostly just run like mid-range, like high speed but violent and despair type comps, and then like with the occasional like splashed in Swift units or whatever. But
my Swift sets like people's violent sets. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. I don't know the feeling. Like, I'll be honest. Listen, my fastest Swift set is like plus 213. Plus 113.
You guys are pretty close, honestly.
Yeah.
213, yeah.
213.
You guys are in the same boat. That's basically what Firas is. Yeah.
But Firas has those 180 violence.
Yeah, the violence sets are good.
I don't have. I think I have one like 180 violence, exactly 180 violence set.
Yeah.
Don't forget my despair.
Right, despair.
Yeah, his despair is cracked.
Despair is like what, like 172, I think.
Yeah, my despair kind of sucks, but
I have nothing, dude.
Swift,
my account
I'm booming.
Like, my account's very good for like siege. You know, I have like the very good
like the fat runes.
Because obviously, if you don't get the third and fourth roll in speed, it's going into something else good, right?
Yeah.
Like you have one HP roll, I have 2 HP rolls. You have 3 speed rolls, I have 2, but I have 2 HP rolls. You know what I mean? So, like, I have a lot of good middle thick runes. I have nothing when it comes to like.
Yeah, this is a pretty decent meta for that though. Like a lot of Mashas and Dominics are built in that range.
Which is why I'm playing a little bit now. You know, but still, like with that, like I'm still inhibited by. So what happens, like with that is, with Masha having such a crazy base speed, for example, right?
Yep.
I have to run a slower than I want to Masha, so that it goes behind my slow strippers because I have slow strippers.
Yep. You just gotta make her fatter and fatter and fatter.
So yes, it's a better meta for me, but it actually inhibits me because I'm capped by my strippers, right?
Yeah.
Like I have to slow Sierra down, for example, because my stripper's is too slow. I have to slow a Molong down, for example, because my strippers are too slow. You know what I'm trying to say? Like
because like if your water Ryu is capped at 175 on the despair,
everybody's trying to add one more speed. Like I'm frequently trying to like remove speed.
Reduce.
Like I just reduced 3 speed on my Masha today. Like today, I literally dropped 3 speed on my Masha. You know?
Yeah.
It got a little better, like thickness wise, but I lost 3 speed. You know what I mean? Because it was moving ahead of Nana, I believe.
Yep.
You know, so like because of my sets, my despair set is shit. Because my Nana's still on despair. People say it's violent, maybe, but it's still on despair. Because of that, I had to slow my Masha down. You know, so it's like it's a good meta. So that's why I'm actually playing a little bit. But it still like hurts me not having higher speed sets. You know?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's always even when the meta shifts towards violent and despair, it still in a way becomes who has the faster but now violent and despair. It's not like it may not be Swift units kind of get you into trouble because as soon as they take like a Dominic or something, he just wipes the deck with a Swift unit. But
like Swift units, like you're in big trouble.
It's got to be like you're locked to like Escher because he's just a tanky support on top of it, and he has a strip, or like Sekhmet because she has an S2
on the strip, right? Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. Like that's the only units to have your Swift runes right now. Because anything else you try and do Swift, you're just gonna get screwed by it in the long run. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you got the fastest Triton in the world. You know what I mean? But if my Dominic,
he's gonna lose you games.
One time, you have nothing left. You have nothing left. It's that simple.
Triton's gonna lose you more games than he wins you. I don't care what his rune set is.
He'll give you the first turn. You get the first turn. You'll actually get to move.
Yep. And then their Verd will revenge off of that first turn, and their water Ryu will cut off a passive, and then you're just fucked.
Again, you know? That's the biggest issue.
Yeah.
I think I want to touch on. We were saying like if like the pre-ban thing. But that was also like including that you don't see the person's name anymore. You don't know them anymore. You don't know who the fuck you're pre-banning against or anything.
Yep.
You wouldn't know that I'm pre-banning Oliver, yes, but you don't know it's me that I'm pre-banning Oliver. Right. So you don't know what my whole box is on top of that.
I'm more okay with that, but the whole pre-ban thing, it's a little hairy.
I want both. I want both.
The other thing too, though, this is my other argument for it, though, is if they're gonna make qualifying for SWC a ladder dependent thing, then your ladder should have your same format as your tournament. So you mean I gotta play 3,000 wings of a different format game?
No, I agree. I don't disagree with you, but to be fair, if I had to play regular RTA and there was pre-bans, I wouldn't play because that extra fucking 1 minute or 30 seconds or even 10
seconds,
you
don't do it like that. You just can't.
You pre-banned before.
You gotta set it before.
I get what you're saying, but that's not the same format anymore as regular SWC either now, right? So
yeah,
I get what you're saying.
Well, it still could be because it's just
it could be. You just know who you're playing now instead.
Right, because in SWC you know who you're playing anyway, so you could still just set it first.
Right.
But
yeah.
Another thing is that Comptos gets data, right? They see what's the most pre-banned unit, and they
know that something's wrong.
True,
with it,
that's valuable for them as well.
That's any tech company of whether it's gaming or whatever it is should have data management, and they should be able to see, okay, Oliver's been pre-banned 80% of the time. Why is that? Oh, because we made him so fucking busted.
And it's going to force their hand. They're going to nerf him because they want him back in the pool. They want people using him.
I can't believe they nerfed him and it didn't even really
nerf him. I don't think they knew.
It's a nerf if it misses. That's it.
I don't think they knew that it actually broke his chain because we did a podcast when those notes came out and I was like, that doesn't actually get rid of the chain. They know that, right? He still is going to have the whole chain.
No chain break. Yeah.
Which is what he was before too. If you missed before, his chain was broken anyway.
You pick a team of 3 supports and Oliver, and because you can't finish off the Oliver, you could literally lose to an Oliver just poking you.
Yep.
Yeah.
I lost him last night like that.
Well, his S3 ramps up in damage over time, and it starts to crack things. He'll hit Kinky hard enough to not activate his.
I got very late game today.
Yeah.
With Oliver, and my Oliver skill 3 almost actually one-shot a Fire Ryu.
Yeah. That thing starts to crack. It's crazy.
I hit him 100% down to 20.
Yep.
And then I got the turn because I got his bar, too. But when I got the turn, it glanced, and he just punched me.
Yeah.
No, I guess on this unit. Dude.
No, and the other thing, too, it's how many units do you think in this game you just can't use because Leo exists? How many units do you don't even pull them out of your box?
I fight against Leo a lot because I'm in Hong. I fight Leos all the time.
But think of the units that you just can't even take out of your box because Triple Revenge Verd, it's going to be 2 weeks to Triple Revenge Verd. It's going to be 2 weeks to Leo. You just can't even.
Right, there's a lot of units that are just a little too oppressive. Like Oliver, Triple Revenge Verd, Leo. They're oppressive.
Even on Taurus, it's if something's weak to Antares, I'm not going to use it. The fuck, I don't want to fight that thing.
100%. No, you're right. But there's no way they could balance this game because it is a spend dependent game. You know? I'm not saying you can't.
It's intentionally imbalanced.
Right. Exactly. It's going to make you want to spend until you feel like you're balanced. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get what you guys are saying for sure. But because it's a spend dependent game, it'll always not be balanced no matter what because nobody's wallet is balanced.
Yeah, I do think
even if your wallet is balanced, there's so much RNG when it comes to getting a unit. You know what I mean? You could summon for all right, Thompsin, for example, right? Do you know how long it took him to get a fucking Molly? He had 18 LD Nat 5s before a Molly. You know what I mean?
Still don't have
because it's just that hard sometimes. Some units just don't come to you. You know how long it took me to get a Velajul?
Yeah, that's crazy.
I was well over 200K before I got a Velajul, bro. And Velajul's been out since the early days. You know what I mean?
He was part of the original set. Yeah.
And I was swiping since day one. You know what I mean? And I always wanted a Praha and a Velajul, and by the time I got those things, I didn't want them anymore. Granted, Praha's pretty good now.
Yeah.
I never used Praha in my life up until 2 weeks ago.
I think there's 2 sides to it though, because doesn't that kind of make you want to there's also the aspect of it where it's going to make you want to spend more because if you don't, whatever the backup to Oliver becomes. Now there's 2 units you need to own. You need to own Oliver for when he's allowed into your game, and you need to own his backup for when people pre-ban him versus you. So now you've almost got a double chase.
There is validity to what you're saying. Like I said, the argument will always be the guy with the full monster box will always rule in favor
we'll hate
of
it.
no pre-ban. And the person that's missing
they just want to stomp.
constantly gets oppressed by that one unit, will always vote for the pre-ban.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just
Like
the game just gets boring to me when it's like Leo. I'm not losing to Leo because I no longer pick comps that are weak to Leo, but that just means that the game is deciding what I can play or not.
Like 10 of the units you want to use,
right? The game's determining what I'm allowed to play because it's like
you're not allowed. Exactly. No, I know what you're saying.
I've been getting crushed by Dominic. Time to just bench all these units and put a bunch of other units in.
Use the unit that you actually spend time and money trying to get. You can't even use it now because of this unit in the game.
Yeah, it's just annoying. I mean, it's frustrating more than anything. Like, I'll find a comp that wins regardless of what the rule set is, but it might not be what I want to play. I might, I don't want to be forced into like, these are the units that you own that don't get countered by all the counter picks. So pick these and don't deviate or you're going to get fucked by a bunch of 4-star fusion units and whatever.
I mean, even my drafts, like I'm limiting myself to like a window of like 9-10 units.
Yep.
That's all I draft.
The second you try to deviate, someone's like,
once you deviate, that one
here's my Riley, here's my Bird.
That one counter comes in, you're just like, like you just like the whole draft, the whole pick ban is just, it's completely neutralized now. There's no point in pick ban because you just one pick just destroyed my whole idea.
Yeah.
And then decided to force ban. The ban's already been decided actually by the time you start drafting that kind of comp anyway.
Oh yeah.
For a fact anybody owns a Leo. And even if they don't draft it, the 5 units are still blank. You're like, I'm still gonna ban the Leo. And it's not even there yet. You already know you're banning the Leo.
You have no choice. You have no choice.
There's units like that in the game, that's the thing.
Fucking suck.
But all right, we can call it there. Yeah. This is already our longest podcast ever.
No problem.
But thank you so much for joining.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate you guys having me. Sorry we couldn't do it the other day.
No problem.
All good.
Listen, for the most part, anytime I could do this, so hit me up whenever, guys. I appreciate it.
Definitely. Definitely. All right.
Guys, and thank you everybody for watching. Take care, guys.
Peace out.
Thank you, everyone.
Be good.
Peace out.